Pillars of Entrepreneurship Virtual Summit. And I'm happy today to have our guest, Dr. Natalie Forest, to join us in today's summit. Natalie is the CEO, Bilingual International Executive Strategist, Corporate Leadership and Teamwork Trainer, Transformational Growth Mentor, International Best-Selling Keynote Speaker and Mentor. Welcome, Natalie.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Welcome. And I know today you're going to tell us more about the life cycle of a business, right? You take it on. Any angle you want to cover today.
Any angle. Okay.
Yes.
Well, first of all, I'm so excited that you are organizing the summit. I think it is crucial that as entrepreneurs, we come together, educate each other, learn together, and grow together. Because that is one of the things when I started my business that I didn't have. And so having a community where everybody comes together, I think is really, really crucial. And in that sense, when I started my business a number of years ago, I hadn't planned on being an entrepreneur, a solopreneur, have a business. I was good at what I was doing, which was being a history professor and helping people transform their lives from that arena. When I went into business, I had an experience that I believe a lot of people who have a dream and a vision and a passion for what they're doing go through, which is I had a lot of coaches, I had a lot of people who tried to help me figure out what I was doing, but I didn't have the real business entrepreneurship expertise. Never taken a business management class or anything like that. So I had to learn, what does it mean to not just run a business, but actually create a business that not just survives, but lasts, continues to grow, and becomes sustainable so that I create a legacy of what I'm passionate about. And while I was doing that, I was so fortunate just a few years ago to run into now an associate of mine who is running the company I Do Systems. But what we have been able to do and what has helped me in my business and all of my clients is to really figure out sort of like a roadmap to creating the sustainable business. And what is crucial about that is understanding where you are in your business right now. Understanding it, not just because you're making a little bit of money, you've got some marketing materials, but understanding it objectively, which is what we often miss. I know as a consultant, there are questions I ask, but up until a couple of years ago, I never asked completely objective questions into all areas of business. I was always focused on my expertise. So understanding where you are is crucial in your business, just as it is in life. If you don't know where you are, how do you know where you're going? And the term that is officially used in business for that is life cycle stages.
Good.
So where are you in your business, and what does it take for you to move from where you are right now to creating that dream, and at some point sell your business, have your family what does it take? And they're what I refer to as building blocks. That's really, really important.
Right. So you see the life cycle, do you see like the end goal first and then reverse engineer to go backwards, or how is that life cycle of a business that you see?
Well, in general, the way that it really has become very obvious is that there are in general 5 life cycle stages in business. Okay, some companies talk about 7, but they include things like decline, which I don't even want to touch, right? I don't want it to decline. So I see it as 5 life cycle stages. And the goal, very nicely that you ask about that, is your ultimate GPS destination, right? So we call it the maturity. It is when your business is successful, sustainable, you're tapping into further resources. That's where most of us as entrepreneurs want to go. So that's the goal. However, you need to figure out where you are first. And what is really fascinating, and I went through that myself, is we all think because we're making some money, we have revenue, you know, everything seems to be going well. We all think that we're in the growth stage, which is actually the 3rd stage. We all think, oh, we're growing, we're moving into the 4th stage, which is expansion. But honestly, and this is why this is so crucial, when you ask objective questions, a whole lot of us are still, in some aspects of our business, in the seed stage of our business, because we did not complete all aspects, all issues that we needed to address.
Right. So what is can we just summarize this? Like, what are the 5 life cycle stages that we're talking about?
So really, this is, I think, where most companies also agree. And we're talking about companies that have longevity, that are well-known companies. They all took this path. So it goes from seed to startup, to growth, to expansion, and then to maturity. And in other words, you know, because I also deal a lot with transformation on a personal level, it interconnects, obviously. Think about your life, right? The seed stage sort of is like, you're a baby, you're trying to figure everything out, you're starting to hear some words and put them together. Startup is where you're beginning to walk. You got a little bit support on your side, you're no longer crawling, you can now walk. Growth is then where, oh, you're in school, you might be going to college, awesome. Expansion in life would be, you're having a job, you might be moving around, you're expanding your network, you're expanding your family. And then comes maturity where you're, I guess in most words you would say, you know, you're a senior, you have a life, you're established, you still have some goals that you're following up. So you're mature, your whole worldview is understanding how everything connects, and you're ready to leave a legacy, whether it's personal or other. And the same goes for your business. So these stages really align very nicely, and you can't walk without having crawled first.
Yes.
And so the same goes for business.
Yes, because today's audience, all these entrepreneurs, they could be at different stage in their business. And these 5 life cycle stages would be helpful for them to identify even where they are at. And I believe that even when they get to maturity, they're always in the market. There's new ideas that they have come up. They are back to the seed stage with other product or services that they are expanding, like to they're into their business, right? So I
Absolutely.
believe that cycle
Absolutely
is continuous.
Yes.
Right? Yes.
And that's it's very important what you just said. So sorry for jumping in, but it's very important. These life cycle stages, they are directly connected to pillars of business, you know, things that you need to continuously look at. And so in every life cycle, you have to look at, for example, your marketing. You have to look at your credit. You have to look at, what is my inventory? You have to look at what other partners are out there that I can collaborate with. So there are some things that seem to be continuous or repeating, but they're always at a different level. when you're in the seed stage, you might need an investor. When you're in the growth stage, you want to partner with a huge company. Those are similar questions, but very different levels.
Yes. And let's get to where your expertise, or you are America's leading expert in personal performance and is the founder of Success Revolutions and Revolutionize Your Potential, a series of educational training programs, right, for individuals and corporations across the globe. I would really like to hear more about that.
Well, thank you for bringing that up. So I believe that performance is crucial. And I do not believe that performance is necessarily objectively and adequately measured from the outside. What I mean by that is that there are things that you are great at, there are things that I am great at. And if you were to evaluate me on something that I'm not great at, I might get a passing grade or a failing grade, and that can really, really be horrible for me. However, that should not impact our self-confidence and our understanding of ourselves, especially for entrepreneurs. What it means is that if we give our best, always, and let's say, taxes, I don't like doing my taxes. I outsource my taxes because I don't want to deal with it. And so if I know doing my taxes is a weakness of mine, like a SWOT analysis, I know I'm not good at that, I find somebody to help me with that. I do my best while doing my own taxes, but then I hand it over. So performance matters from the inside out, not from the outside in. And therefore, performance is directly related to your purpose and your passion. Okay? And that's really what I help people with on a personal level, as well as entrepreneurs, because we're always all. And we are entrepreneurs and human beings. We all have our weaknesses. We all have our strong sides. And at the same time, we're all enormously important and needed. So just because I have a weakness in doing my taxes doesn't mean I shouldn't be in business, or doesn't mean I shouldn't have a life. And so I really work on that. And that also flows into the other aspect that you mentioned, corporate training, team performance. Every member of a team is a crucial piece. Where are they in their lives? What are their strengths? What are their weaknesses on the job? And you bring that together in a collaborative way. And therefore, whether it's a big organization, whether it's a small team for a small business, or whether it's your family, you always need to look at what does everybody bring to the table and focus on the positives that they bring.
Yes, it's important, I think, in any type of project. It's assigning people to their, whoever does have the big, greatest strength, and we need to recognize their potential and put them in the relevant part of the project, and then they will grow and really perform at their best performance.
Absolutely. And unfortunately, that's not always done in big organizations, right? So if there are some people who are listening to this who are on the path to becoming an entrepreneur, they still have a job or a career outside, perfectly fine, by the way. Don't jump into business unless you have everything in place. But they might run into a situation where they apply for a job and the skills match, or they make the skills match, right, to get that job to pay the bills, but it's not their passion. Or you're being transferred. You're in a company and you're being transferred because, somebody said, oh, you're pretty good at math. Well, that doesn't mean that you're going to thrive in that job. And let's not forget that sometimes our parents tell us what we're really good at, and they funnel us into a career and we're really not happy. So finding the match between what you're passionate and purposely inclined to do, as well as matching it with the team that you're a part. It takes a lot of, I call it human commitment on all sides, especially the leaders, to really make that happen.
Yeah. For myself, being an entrepreneur for 30 years, I always look for other talents. Like, so it's a collaboration. That's why I have been running a networking group for 22 years, is finding those people that I can collaborate with, because I don't have all this skill set. And someone else has their strength. Is may it be accounting, may it be marketing, may it be in sales.
Mm-hmm.
It's finding the right match so we can deliver our project or the business going to the next level. And
Yes.
that's how I see it. What your knowledge can help, not like it's many areas, whether it's in personal life or in business, or even people that just working for companies, right?
And you know what you just said, you're being able to be as successful and sustainable as you are in your business and with that networking group. It shows a quality that we need to allow people to tap into more. And that quality is self-love and self-confidence, that knowledge of self. And I mean that in the best possible way. Knowledge of self means you have to know all your sides, right? Good, bad, in between. But you have that confidence that I can make this work. And if I have a weakness, that does not mean I'm weak. It does not mean that I shouldn't be doing this, because you have understood what your purpose is. And a lot of times the people that I run into, the minute that they get into, well, I'm not good at that, there's all that stuff in the back of their heads, that negative self-talk, and they will pull away instead of saying, I'm not good at that, but you know what? You are. So let's reach across the table and collaborate, team up, partner up, because both of us are bringing something really, really important to the table. And I think in society that is often challenging, because a lot of people don't understand collaboration. They don't understand partnering up. And so that self-confidence is really crucial.
In other way, they see competition. I never really see it that way, because everyone has different strength. You're in the same field of, say, marketing or in sales. There's always opportunity for collaboration and working together. Right? Dr. Natalie, like I know you have that expertise in finding the hidden power of patterns in people, like to get them to achieve their potential and live the life that they wanted to create, that they desired to live. And your goal is about that everyone can live the life that they desire and be happy and successful and great relationship and as little stress as possible. And can you tell us more about like how you spread all these words? And I know you are on lots of the TV show, radio show, nationwide. And can you tell us more about how you spread your words?
Well, yeah, any way I can. So just being on a summit like this, my basic belief, and I think I sort of mentioned that indirectly earlier, is that every human being on this planet is important and needed and has a purpose. The challenge for a lot of people is that purpose seems like, oh my God, I have to achieve something big. I have to have my my name on a big billboard, or I have to be on TV. And no, that's not it. So I think I'm really on a mission to awaken people to their own purpose in a way that emphasizes the way that we need them. And so that goes in life and in business, and very often it's together. What I really work on in that, the hidden power of patterns, is that subconscious mindset that holds us back. It's the idea that I just mentioned. Purpose means I have to be on TV, I have to make $1 million. And by that, so many of us have been trained by outside forces to achieve certain goals. $1 million is the minimum of what I need to make to be successful. Why? Right? Who says that? And you can find the answer back here. So we dig a little bit into your subconscious mind to really, this is a word I often like to use, to detox the mind. Get the toxins, the negativity, everything out of there, scrub it all out and see, who are you and what do you bring to the table? Now, let's emphasize that. And it doesn't matter whether that means you're the best cook in your household, or the best mom that has ever lived on this planet, or whether you're a networking organization leader that brings people together, or whether you're on TV, because every piece is needed. I see life as a puzzle, right? Where all the pieces go together. And so somewhere in this life, in the stages of humanity, you're needed. Let's bring that to the forefront. And therefore, I juggle being a CEO of this company, being a CEO of this company, and just being the mentor and coach, or going out and talking to university students about cross-cultural communication, because it's all based on respect and finding the light that you are.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's why I see you have received lots of volunteer award, and one of such is you're the proud recipient of the 2016 President Barack Obama Presidential Volunteer Service Award, and it's a Lifetime Achievement Award. That's substantial. That's clear what you do give back to your community, your country.
Absolutely. And I didn't expect to get that, because when I can help, I do. Part of my service, I think, it was probably inborn. And my mother always raised me and my brother in the way that she said, you are very fortunate to have been born in Germany, because there are a lot of things that as a single mom in other countries, she would not have been able to give to us, to provide us with. So we had a great education. We had a lot of things that in other countries we would not have had. And so in that sense, I grew up with knowing I'm very fortunate. How can I help others be as fortunate? And then, moving to other countries, it really has stayed with me. And I think the best part about volunteering at this point in my life is that I can pick where I volunteer, but the icing on the cake is that my daughter believes in volunteering all the time. So she now drags me along to volunteer as well. And I love it, because she's so concerned about society, and a lot of our young ones are. So the volunteering is crucial. And to tie it back to something we talked about earlier, you can only volunteer if you have your life in order, if you know what you care about, and if you're in a financial position to not have to run after every job and after every contract. That means your subconscious mind has to allow you to define what you need and to go after it. Because for me initially, I was not, for example, charging what I was worth with what I was providing my clients and friends with. So I couldn't give back as much because I was always trying to, oh my God, how do I pay my bills? And
Right.
then I realized, well, if I make more money, then I can actually give back much more. And
Yes.
when I say more money, I'm not talking about like overcharging people, but making ends meet plus a little bit, because that helps me provide all of the volunteer services that I want to provide.
Yes. To me, being an entrepreneur, it's very important to have both achievement and fulfillment. You just can't missing the other, because it doesn't matter how much money you make and you're not happy, that's or not having the good health, right? You can't have it all. That's why the 4 pillars of entrepreneurship, we're focusing on health, wealth, personal growth, and business development. And before we end this, I'm really interested in about learning more about the Women of Global Change, which you are the executive director of this organization. Can you tell me a little bit about this organization, please?
Oh, a little bit? Sure.
I'm really interested in learning more.
The Women of Global Change is an international organization for entrepreneurs, educational platform, and social impact. You know, we work together to create positive change and to help create progress in the world. And we do that based on a number of ideas. Service is one of our main pillars in that. Okay, Shelley Hunt, the visionary and organizer and founder of the Women of Global Change, always says, those who serve succeed. And so we bring together like-minded leaders from various areas of life and business. We have an educational platform in our meetings, in our chapter meetings, in our conference, and in our international summit, which is by invitation only. But we're also having an educational platform on our website for all members, where they can get more information. Then, of course, you know, it's like you said, the 4 pillars of entrepreneurship. You know, we work on really connecting with each other. So it's not your regular networking group where you go and everybody hands out their business cards. We connect, and we have people come back to our summit again and again, where we serve internationally. You know, we come together for 7 days. We have very, very intense mentoring with the best masterminds of the world, and then we serve. And so they come back and they say, I'm home, because I can call them up and I can say, hey, I need this, or we talk about our families. It's very much a human-based organization. And we've just realized that it's really crucial, not just now, but it's always been crucial, and it's just getting more and more important, that we come together, because together we can do so much more. I can go out volunteer by myself, but if I bring 50 people to volunteer, we can create, I mean, we've done it, you know, 2-3 rooms for a children's cancer ward. You know, we do those things. And when I say service, I mean hands-on, get down and dirty service, okay? And it's just, it's a very different group. We collaborate with other women's organizations, with other men organizations, with other business organizations. We want to bring everybody together.
Yes. Can you give an example of what project that you have served, like as an organization nationwide, or like in community-based type of service that
oh yeah, I don't know where to start. So we do have some chapters nationally and internationally, and they pick what is important for their region. So for example, in Atlanta in the United States, sex trafficking is a huge issue. So our chapter there has worked 3 times thus far on helping those afflicted by sex trafficking. For example, safe houses. That group went in and helped redecorate, wash, put furniture into small apartments for those who have gotten out of sex trafficking.
Yes.
In Denver, we collaborated with the police department, and what they did there is they collected money and funds, and they helped bring Christmas to those who were not fortunate enough to be able to afford Christmas. I want to say that was like 15,000 or something like that, but don't quote me on that. Those are some of the, and you know, the cancer ward in Las Vegas.
Community-based of service to local community, and then as a whole national chapter, like what do they do to help, you know, globally type of initiative? Can you tell me more about that?
Well, globally, so we've got the chapters, and they all have their service projects, and then we come together at our national conference. We just had our first national conference, and at our annual summit that's been going on for 12 years. The annual international summit is somewhere in the world, whether it's Mexico, or we were in Spain 2 years ago, or Costa Rica. We go there, and part of what we do is we have that mastermind, and then one full day is dedicated to a project there, ranging from building a library at a school, to putting in wells, to helping an orphanage with some equipment and redecorating some of the rooms, to in Spain we created a workspace for immigrant women who were actually working with textiles, creating their own line of clothing. So it ranges depending on where we go internationally, what is the need in that particular country. And then, for example, in Jamaica, we worked specifically hands-on with one school, and then the next day we raised funds so that all together, I think there were like 5 or 6 schools just in Jamaica that we were able to help stay in business, make sure they had books, food for the kids, and uniforms.
Yes. So I'm excited to hear that. I heard in Toronto, that's in Ontario, Canada, that's where I'm at,
Yes.
but a new chapter is starting, like in Toronto.
Yes.
Can you tell us more about it? And some of these entrepreneurs may be interested in, maybe if they're in Toronto, Canada, and they can participate, and if they are from the States, they can find a chapter.
Absolutely, yes. We just had more training for new presidents coming in. In Toronto, which is our second Canadian chapter, Susan, who's a wonderful person, came to me. Well, I think I came to her, or anyhow, we connected, and she said, you know, this is something really cool. Let's do it. So she is launching it in 2020. She's working right now on what calls her. So she's working on her project to pull some like-minded leaders in to help her run the committee and start this new chapter. I am not exactly sure off the top of my head when it's going to start, but it's very simple if you want to find out more, because there's a Facebook group, obviously, for WGZ Toronto, or just go to thewomenofglobalchange.com. You'll see where we are. Now, if you are in an area where we don't have a chapter, don't worry, just call us. We don't superimpose chapters on places. Usually people come to us and they say there's a need. So we've got Vancouver and Toronto now coming up, and she's working so hard. I love seeing what she's developing. It's really exciting for Toronto. And then we've got Malaysia, we've got India, and some other places. Yeah, and of course in the United States, where we're opening more chapters as well.
How many chapters are in the United States right now?
I don't have the latest count. I want to say 8 to 10, because sometimes it takes a little longer for a chapter to launch. But I think we're at 10 right now.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. So if you, like, because I think entrepreneurs, they, like, besides just working on their business, It's good to have something that they can feel the fulfillment, not just achievement. That's how important it is to have a cause that they support, right?
Well, yeah, and like I said, with the Women of Global Change, if you're an entrepreneur, you don't have to be, and you can also be a man. It's just called women, but we have a lot of men. You come in and you learn things that help your business as well. Depending on where you are in your business, what stage you're in, you might get advice for how to do better on your taxes. You may get marketing advice. You may get advice on your health. So we have experts coming and sharing that information all the time, in addition to the service projects.
Yes, good. So in concluding today's interview, but thank you for your time, Dr. Natalie Forest. I just want to conclude. So the takeaway that we have learned about the 5 life cycle and stages of a business cycle, right? It's about the seed and the startup stage and growth, expansion and maturity, and they all can be summarized apply into your life and also in your business, right? Is there other things that you would like to add it to this before we tell others, like what the free gifts you're giving? The good.
Well, I think I cannot stress enough what a difference it has made for me as an entrepreneur to understand the life cycle stages, and what difference it has made for me as a strategist, consultant, coach, whatever term you want to use, when I'm working with other entrepreneurs, assisting them on their path forward. It is so much easier to fill in what is missing and be on the path to maturity, to a legacy, when you know where you are in life and in business. And so I cannot stress how important that is, to know that for yourself and when you're working with others, because it has made all the difference for me and for my clients.
Right. Yes. So what I know, the gift that you are the free gift that you are willing to give to our audience, entrepreneurs, is a one-on-one session with Dr. Natalie Forest to discuss your business stage and strategy for growth. So they can either email you or like to schedule your 45 minutes complimentary appointment, or they can follow the link that we're going to post on our video page. And it's a value of $250. That's very generous of you, right?
Well, it's important. It's important. I want to get people to the next step without having to worry about possibly having missed anything.
Yes, that's a very good. Dr. Natalie Forest is the transformational life and business mentor. So it is a very good opportunity for any of the entrepreneurs. We like to give the this 45 minutes. That's very generous. Like call, to explore or ask any questions, and make the appointment. So go ahead and make sure you do that right after you watch this, finish watching this video. All right. So thank you very much, Dr. Natalie Forest. And I hope to see you some more on our virtual platform, United Networks for Growth.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for making this possible.
Thank you. Let me just.
Feel down, 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 down. Think about it, please.